Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the showdown summary between Maul's Hateful Castle and the Sinister Six. So this is X-Wing 2.5, and if you are new to X-Wing, then this is the place to be. Welcome to our channel, and for our veterans or previous subscribers, welcome again to a showdown summary. And as you know, this is a highlights reel of a battle that has already occurred, and we're going ahead and just kind of hitting on the highlights of what happened. If you want to see more in depth, then go check out the Field Reports playlist, and you can look up the same game and see all the stuff that happened. Now, in which case, let's go ahead and introduce you to the pilots this time around. You have Maul's Hateful Castle, and then you have the Sinister Six. So in which case, we have all sorts of stuff going on here. Scum is going to have a uphill battle the whole entire way, because you're talking about 4 ships versus 6 ships. And 2 of those 6 ships are from the Battle of Yavin. So you got Backstabber and Mauler here. Sorry, excuse me. You have those 2, and they have an extra hull in addition to their ability to roll an additional attack die, which makes them absolutely lethal. So in which case, we're going to go ahead and tell you that today is going to be Scenario 4, Scramble the Transmissions. So in which case, let's go ahead and dive on in, going into light speed. And okay, we're going straight into round 3. The only thing that you missed all the way from round or from setup to round 2 was Maul loses 2 shields. That's it. There wasn't a lot of fighting during round 2 because everybody was still a pretty far distance away, out of range. So now, oh my goodness, look at the size of that thing. Yes, if you have never seen a gauntlet on the mat, that is what it looks like, and it's huge. So in the next picture, I'm going to tell you that, yes, you see Old T right here. Old T is going to come in later and be underneath this ship, and you can't even tell that Old T is there, but I promise he is. So in which case, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Scum won the road roll, so they are first player in this round, and Maul just went to town on Jonas right here. So it was a range 1 shot. Forlong says to Jonas, no, you may not use your focus token, and lays in 3 hits and a crit, giving Jonas a disabled power regulator, essentially meaning that Jonas is taking an ion maneuver straight into Maul, probably during the next round. So in which case, that was Maul's first attack. And then we got Old T over here. Now, Old T just finished doing a burnout thruster. That's why the charge is put there and a deplete is put there so that you can see that. So in which case, Old T is hoping that with that 2 attack dice shot, because he is depleted, that he can go ahead and wipe Jonas off the board. That is not the case, as you can see. So in which case, you know, that's what happens. So then we have Lima over here. Lima went ahead and stripped a focus off of Backstabber, and in which case, you know, both Backstabber and Mauler, they decided to go ahead and mutually attack Lima here, and luckily one of them absolutely whiffed it because the other one was able to take 2 shields and 1 hull. So I mean, that's bound to happen when you have 2 ships that are throwing 3 dice apiece, a total of 6, and the agility of a Y-Wing is 1. So in which case, a total of 2 defense dice against 6 attack dice. I mean, that's actually a pretty good turnout for the Scum at that point in time. So Lima's still in it for a little bit. And then you have all sorts of shenanigans going on over here. Now, we got these 3 ships right here I'm going to talk about that all fired into Maul, and Maul put in a reinforce in the front, thank goodness. So in which case, they go ahead and start firing into Maul, and range 1 attacks from the bombers, so they don't get to use barrage rockets, but they do get to use range 1 attack. And then Scourge actually had Maul in bullseye, so he was actually able to do a 3 attack dice. So we got 9 attack dice all going into Maul, who only has 2 defense at this point in time. And what do you know? All they could do with a reinforced and Maul's force actions and everything else is they could only get 2 damage through. So, and that was it. So now, you also can see that the rear here and the Fang, who's Joy, both of them only were able to take 1 hull apiece from each other, which you know, I'm going to tell you that I think it's always an awesome fight to see Interceptor go head to head with a Fang fighter, because you just never know what's going to happen. And in which case, in this case, like both of them fired at each other, both of them were range one of each other, and both of them could only get one hit off the other. So it is what it is. And so we're now going to be moving on to the end of round 4. But before I do that, Scum have 3 points, Empire only has 1, and there's only 29 minutes and 17 seconds left in this game at the end of round 3. So round 4 comes up, and oh, the humanity. I mean, okay, so there's 2 tragic stories that take place here. One, okay, so Old T does what Old T does, comes on in, does a barrel roll, and then goes ahead and steals the focus from Jonas and actually uses his clan training so that he can grab a focus with Jonas right there. So as you can see, Jonas is now dead because Old T just wiped the floor essentially. So you see 2 damage and a loose stabilizer there. And then our next attack was from Lima here. Lima ended up flying right into the front of the rear, and in which case I'm going to go ahead and tell you that, hey, she can take that range 1 shot right there. She did take that range 1 shot right there, ended up not doing anything. So the rear needs to go back to, you know, the academy to figure out how to fire her weapons. So in which case, we're going to go ahead and talk about who's next. Okay, so those were all the Scum 5s. Now we're going to, oh wait, Maul. Maul goes ahead and takes a range 1 shot into Scourge here, and actually ends up taking 2 out of the 3 whole off. And I forgot about this little thing over here. So before Tomax took off and did a 5K here, he went ahead and left a bomblet behind. And sure enough, when Joy was actually moving, she bumps right into Scourge here right before he took off, and ends up taking a red focus. But the problem is that you know that one time where you don't want your dice to be hot at all, you just want your dice to be cold? No, Joy, yeah, rolled 2 crits. Now, luckily it's a bomblet, and those 2 crits are just hits at that point in time as the results. So in which case, Joy had already lost 1 hole. Now she's lost 2 more, and she only had a 4 total to begin with. So in which case, I'm really hoping that Joy can survive the attacks from these 2 right here and get a shot on Scourge, but that's the tragedy. It doesn't happen. So in which case, let's see here. So Scourge has no shot. Tomax actually took a range 1 and Maul and missed. And then some of you may be asking, how is it that Maul is still in the same spot? He was stressed last turn. There's no way that he could actually stay in the same spot doing the red maneuver. He has electronic baffle, and therefore he took away that red, and now has gotten the opportunity to go ahead and sit there and be like, haha, you thought I was moving. So now, Mauler and Backstabber. Mauler gets a doesn't get any hits on Joy, and Joy has to burn her focus in order to stay alive. And then you have Backstabber. Backstabber here with a crack shot talent, and here's the deal. Dice were thrown. It was really, really close, but because because Backstabber has that crack shot, that actually ended up killing Joy, as you can see by the additional card over here. And that really is frustrating, and because, oh my goodness, if Joy had stayed alive, we could probably have a range 2 shot that actually kills Scourge, and then it kind of keeps the playing field a little bit closer to fair. But this is definitely not fair, and we are losing, or the Scum are losing. I was playing them, so we are losing a very big uphill battle at this point in time. So in which case, we'll go ahead and skip on over. Oh, I'm sorry. Scum end up with 8 points, still in the lead, but Empire with 6, and 13 minutes and 37 seconds left. So let's go to round 5, and here we go. So a lot of damage is out there, a lot of damage, as you can see, all those damage cards and everything else. So in which case, who got, oh yeah, Empire actually got the first player this time. And oh, I am like, how much can Maul take? Well, you're about to find out. So all of these fives right here are all turned in the same direction in order to shoot at Maul. Now, Tomax moved first and bumps into the back of Maul and was only able to do the red focus. Scourge here went ahead and did a K turn, and then we have these two up front. Now, if you're not familiar, both of these are going to be throwing 4 attack die because one, they're to the side of each other, they're range 1. It's just not pretty. This is why we have yet again a reinforce in the front. And I'm going to tell you that, okay, so you got Mauler, who actually gets a really good shot in on Maul here, ends up getting a blinded pilot. And in which case, hey, guess what? That blinded pilot, Maul's not really going to care because he is a force user, so he can still make his adjustments. In addition to the blinded pilot, also another damage. So now Backstabber following up gets a structural damage, and then the other two follow up by finally getting 2 more damage in there. And Maul from somehow is still alive and basically is going to be limping with 1 whole damage left. So in which case, now we finally get the scum who get to fire. So Maul goes ahead and takes that shot and gets a direct hit on Backstabber. Then you have Old T, who basically, I thought like, oh my goodness, nothing's going to happen here. It's range 0. Well, guess what? It ended up so that Old T actually got 2 damage in on Mauler. And I was hoping that Lima could go ahead and finish Mauler up because it's a range 1 shot. Lima had a focus. Come on, let's go ahead and do this. And no, not at all. So in which case, then let's see here. We have already talked about all those shots. There are no 4s anymore because, well, Joy's dead. Thanks. And then we have Lareer. Now, Lareer went ahead and grabbed this and scrambled this transmission. So they're getting more points because of it. And from downtown, yes, range 3 attack. This was a range 3 attack from Lareer to Old T. And yes, somehow without mods and anything else, Lareer is able to get a crit through, and now Old T has a damage engine. This is never a good damage for a lot of ships, but specifically for a Fang fighter who, like, their staples are doing the hard turns and getting out of situations, not good. So in which case, I was really hoping that this was going to be the final round and then it's a tie, and there it is. No, we have 1 minute and 7 seconds left. So in which case, this is going to be the end for the scum, because no matter what I do at this point in time, it's not a matter of if they are going to kill Maul. It's who is going to kill Maul, who gets the first shot and takes Maul down. So as you have it, guess what? Had enough? No, because apparently a hit and a crit from from Maul here, or Mauler here, is not enough. So Backstabber had to follow up with another hit. And in which case, finally, Tomax decided not to shoot at Maul at that point in time, missed a shot at Lima, unfortunately. So in which case, I'm going to tell you that Maul did get a critical hit of structural damage on Mauler here. And then Lima was actually doing the target lock thing and getting all 3 hits from her plasma torpedoes and kills off Backstabber. So Scourge was not very helpful this time. And these two went ahead and faced up against each other, and lo and behold, nothing happened. So in which case, did everything that they could. That's just the way it works sometimes. And that was the end of it. So, but because Maul is dead and Maul is worth 8 points, not to mention the rest of the scrambled transmissions that they have, because Tomax picked up the 3rd and final one, it's 19-12, and that's the end of the round. So it was always going to be an uphill battle for the scum, and they ended up being massacred by the Sinister Six. and in which case that's the end of the game. So thank you for watching, and we appreciate you being here. Please get the word out about this channel if you know some people that are interested in X-Wing, and if you know some people who are wanting to learn X-Wing, send them our way, please. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email at the address that you see there on your screen. And then I'm also going to tell you that if you want a more in-depth look at this particular fight, then go on over to our field report playlist, and you can look it up under the same name of Maul's Hateful Castle versus the Sinister Six. So welcome to our channel. Please make sure to subscribe, tell other people to come on over, maybe get them to subscribe as well. And we very much appreciate you being here. So thanks for attending our summary, or our Showdown summary. And BatMando out. Have a good